Okay, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Knock 'em Dead Comedy Show here on Gov's Comedy Club Podcast, the Facebook page, the YouTube channel. Hey, wherever you're watching from, we're just glad you're here. Thanks for joining us. Please share the link on all your socials to this show and all the great shows here on Gov's Comedy Club Podcast. We appreciate that very much. The Knock 'em Dead Comedy Show, we're coming at you live from the legendary Governor's Comedy Club. And boy, do we have some legends here today. Jeff Scelzi has returned, ladies and gentlemen. Finally. You've been missed, my friend. You've been missed. And there's Frank over there in the pink box.
Nice.
Oh, there you go. Okay. Didn't hear you at first. Okay.
Hello.
Frank is here, ladies and gentlemen. And joining us at 11:30, musician Jeff Pevar, which I am personally very excited about. Jeff Pevar has been one of my favorites for a very long time. You might not know him. He's not a household name, but you've definitely seen him, and you've definitely heard him. Mm-hmm. He has played with Ray Charles. He has played with David Crosby. He has played with everybody. Meatloaf, Phil Collins, Kenny Loggins, Carly Simon, James Taylor, Joe Cocker, John Rusciello's favorite.
Just to name a few.
So that's coming up around 11:30 that Jeff Pevar will be joining us. Ann is watching. Good morning, everyone. Just passing through. Okay, thanks for passing through, Ann. We have a few reasons to celebrate today. It is Andrew Fremder's birthday.
Yeah, Andrew. Oh.
Andrew Fremder, who will be here in the studio with us tomorrow.
Oh, is he?
Yes. Do you remember the last time he put together those pictures?
Yeah.
Of what?
Yeah.
Famous.
Guess who he?
Yeah. Who they
referring to?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, he has put together another batch.
Oh, did he?
For his appearance tomorrow.
Okay.
Now, I thought last time I thought most of them were very funny.
Yeah, they were good.
This time, I'm like,
oh, you got a sneak preview.
Yes, of course. Mm-hmm, yes. Mm-hmm. There's one or two that I don't get. I'm like, what? I don't see it at all.
It is Andrew Fremder's.
Right. And there's one that he sent that I will not even put up because
jeez. Well, right. Again, there's Andrew Fremder.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, but stick with that. We have other things to celebrate today, but first we'll celebrate talking to John Rusciello. Good morning, sir.
Johnny.
I just want to say hello to my two favorite guys, my man Jeff and my man Frank. Jeff, welcome back.
Thanks, brother. Good to be back.
Great to see you. Yeah, Tony needs all the help he can get. So
that's why I'm here. That's why I'm here. It's what I do.
That's right, brother. That's right.
Well, John helped yesterday. John helped yesterday's show.
Oh yeah. Well, I yeah. My mother. I never listened to my mother. My mother said, "If you have nothing nice to say, don't say it." But I say it anyway. I don't give a fuck.
Oh yeah, he gave Kaplan a scolding yesterday.
Oh, yesterday was Wednesday, Kaplan.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that was.
I won't hold you up. I know you have a great guest.
We do.
Up. Frank, you look great as always.
Thank you, sir.
All right. Talk to you soon.
All right, buddy.
See you.
John. All right, John checking in. So I don't know how old Fremder is. I'm going to say 46. I don't know if I'm not sure if that's right, but that's what I'm guessing. Do you guys want to take a guess on how old Fremder is?
I'm thinking a lot of people probably don't care. Just kidding, Frem.
Well, there might be some truth to that. Frank, have you ever seen Fremder, Frank?
I've seen him on the video.
Okay. Do you want to take a guess?
No.
Oh. Yeah. All righty.
Easy enough.
But we're also celebrating, apparently, you have this nice bracelet.
Oh.
It was your wedding anniversary yesterday.
Yesterday, yeah, 15 years.
Very nice. Congratulations to you and Mary.
Thank you.
Mary is awesome. Mary's a lot of fun. And Mary still has not come in to be on this show.
I know.
I know. Mary, come on. What are you doing?
Well, let's see what happens over the summer when school's out.
Oh, okay. All right.
Let's see.
Will she wear a bathing suit?
I'm thinking she still won't come in.
Damn it.
She doesn't like to be on camera.
Oh, stop. Mary, if we could be on camera with these mugs.
I know.
Then you should definitely be on camera. Mm-hmm. All right. So congratulations to you guys.
Oh, thank you.
Happy birthday, Fremder. So this is your first time back on, and she's probably like a month and a half or something.
Yeah, what was the last? I think one of the last ones I did was with you and Francesca.
Yeah, and then right, yeah,
and we were telling her she needs to bring mom or the other mom in.
One of her moms,
or both if they get along. But she still hasn't done that. Though.
She has not done that. Okay. There was talk of bringing one of her brothers in. She has not done that either. Mm-hmm. But she brings herself in.
Yeah,
and that's good enough. Yeah, so it's got to be 5 or 6 weeks since you've been here.
Easily.
Which is crazy to me how it all flies by. Mm-hmm. But how's life is good?
Yeah, can't complain. Had my dog sent me to the hospital. I don't know if I told you that one.
You told me, but we have not discussed that on the air.
Yep.
And you look
little bitch.
Fine. Okay.
Thank God. Yeah, it's right there.
Oh, I do see now that you pointed out. I wouldn't have seen it otherwise.
Yep. It's still, when I'm shaving, I cut the spot. So everybody doesn't know. I don't know if you mentioned it.
No, I haven't.
So my two little Frenchies were fighting one day in the kitchen as I'm loading the dishwasher, and they love to kind of try and get to lick the plates, and I don't like that. Mm. So I shoot them down. I said, no. And as soon as you yell at one of these dogs, they start fighting each other. Like crazy, going at it. Wow. Mary picked up Stevie, I picked up Rosie, and they're still, now holding like this, and they're still, going crazy. So I just turned, I said, stop it. And Rosie got me right on the face. She went flying out of my arms. I just had a reaction. Later, as I'm in the hospital, on the way home from the hospital, I should say, I'm like, I hope I didn't hurt her. Because I literally, and went over the sink. Because, anything on the face is a gush.
Sorry, you bit my face. I don't care if I hurt her.
Oh, man, it hurt, man. Let me tell you. And Mary looks and she goes, oh, God, hon. She goes, we got to go. We got to go to the hospital. I said, just call my fire department ambulance. I said, because I started feeling a little, I was going into a shock.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I started getting like this, and they had to help me walk over to the kitchen table to sit me down.
Wow.
And of course, here comes my block now, who's lit up like a Christmas tree.
Well, yeah, and you've been there your whole life. That's was originally your mother's house, so you must know everybody on that block.
Yeah.
And you are one of the mayors of Hicksville.
Yeah.
So I can see I can see that being big news.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy. And Mary goes, oh, I was talking to so and so that was here. I go, he was here? She goes, you talked to him. I go, don't even remember talking to him.
Wow.
I said, I remember this person coming in and saying that. She goes, yeah. She goes, he was standing right in front of you and you were talking to him. I said, started to come back a little later. I said, I really didn't remember.
Wow.
And she goes, yeah, your hands were shaking. She goes, you were off. I said, oh, I was definitely off.
Jeez.
Yeah.
That's
nuts,
scary.
How
many? Up. Yeah, how many stitches?
I didn't ask when he was doing it because let me tell you something.
Tell me something.
So you've had stitches before, I imagine.
I've had
when they put that needle in to numb the area, right? You know, this freaking plastic surgeon, holy crap! He puts the needle in. I don't know what was worse, the dog bite when it happened, or that needle. Because they put it in, and then he's moving the needle around as he's in. And Mary said, she goes, Mary walked away. She goes, I couldn't even watch because my feet, I was doing this. I was like, It was absolutely horrible.
Yeah, it is.
Oh, my God.
But it kicks in very quickly, and then you're good.
It kicks in fast, but holy shit, man.
Wow.
Oh, yeah, that sucks. So I think there was probably about 6. I didn't ask him.
Right.
And then when I went a week later to get him taken out, he goes, I don't remember. He goes, you know how many stitches I did since that day? I said, nah, I just figured. But there was some on the inside of the cut. And some on the outside of the cut. There was definitely 3 on the outside, so it's probably a match 3 and 3. 3 in, 3 out.
Okay. And the dog is still alive?
Yeah. And that's the dog that loves me the most in the house.
Yeah, we can tell.
Yeah. She knew. Mary goes, she knew.
Really, yeah?
Yeah, even when I saw her the next, I didn't get home till after 11 at night, which wasn't bad. It was only had 3 hours, and Winthrop was packed.
Yeah.
Packed. And I'm like, oh, this is not going to be good. So I dropped a couple of names.
Oh, nice.
And I said, hey, next thing I was out of there in no time.
You mentioned Frank?
No.
Oh.
No. Nope, sorry, Frank, didn't mention you.
Mentioned Fremder?
No. Oh, God, if I did, I probably would have been there all night. But, no, so yeah, 3 hours I was out of there, stitched up with a lip out to here.
Wow.
Yep. So that was the most exciting thing, I guess, that's happened while
all right. Well, I'm glad you're all right.
I was on the hiatus from the show.
Really? Really can't tell a thing. So
yeah,
they did a nice job, yeah.
Yep.
It's craziness.
I thought the modeling career was going to be over.
But, well, it's not the face that they're watching on.
Oh, no. Anyway. Moving on.
We are awaiting the arrival of Jeff Pevar This is Jeff Pevar. This is one of his albums. This is Hear Me Calling, I believe it's called. This one. Oops. Hear Me Calling. That is the name of this one. It's Jeff Pevar and Inger Nova, which is his wife or partner. I'll have to ask him. Yeah, that's this one. They have this one here. This one's called Anthem. They have, Jeff Pevar from the Core. I got to know his music through him playing with David Crosby. That was, they made a few albums together. They made a band called CPR. David Crosby for the C, Jeff Pevar is the P, and then the R is a musician named James Raymond. James Raymond, when he was a baby, his parents put him up for adoption, okay? When he was in his 30s, he did his, he traced it, did his lineage, found out his father is David Crosby.
Huh.
Now, to make this really kind of weird, James Raymond is a professional musician. So, David Crosby, if you remember, there was a part in the 90s where he was thought to be dying because he needed a liver transplant.
Yeah, right.
So this guy, James Raymond, said, all right, well, if he's dying, let me contact. Because he found out but didn't do anything with it. He just kind of sat on it. But he said, all right, since he's dying, let me reach out and tell him, that I'm good, I'm okay, and I don't have any hard feelings. I had a great life with, the people who adopted me. So he did. He reached out, got in touch with him. They ended up meeting, and they hit it off. And then because they were both musicians, so CPR, C is for Crosby, P is for Pevar, R is for James Raymond, CPR. So they decided to form a band together. And that's what I was just showing. These albums are fantastic. If you like, now when you hear David Crosby, you wouldn't necessarily think like they're like, you don't associate David Crosby with Steely Dan.
Right. Yeah.
But that is what I compare this band to. It
Really?
sounds. If you like Steely Dan, you will love CPR. That's what they're called, CPR. They have 2 live albums and 2 studio albums. I think they're fantastic. I've seen them several times. Then they stopped performing for a while, and then David Crosby was doing his solo stuff. But both of them, James Raymond and Jeff Pevar, were backing him up for a long time. So, yeah. And like I said, Jeff Pevar has played with everybody. He's played with all 3, Crosby, Stills, and Nash, the 3 of them. He has played with Donald Fagen from Steely Dan. James Taylor, Mark Cohn, Ray Charles, Joe Cocker, Jimmy Webb, Ricky Lee Jones, Dr. John, Carly Simon, Kenny Loggins, Wilson Pickett, and the list goes on and on. So that's what's happening.
Definitely a nice resume.
Oh, without a doubt. Without a doubt.
Definitely a great resume.
And me being the music buff that I am, and being a huge Crosby, Stills, and Nash fan.
Oh yeah.
That's where I first saw him and got to know his guitar playing, and then eventually, he's played again. I would see him with these other guys too. So, that's the Crosby, Stills, and Nash guy. I did meet him once at a concert, and I'm gonna tell him that story when he joins us. So probably about another 5 minutes or so. Let's see what's happening here. Let's see. Whoops. What's happening here in the comments? John saying hope all goes okay with Ann and her doctor appointment. Yes. Good luck, Ann, with whatever's going on. Hopefully is good. Hopefully all is good. Oh, Ann says, we're listening on our drive to Bakersfield. My beautiful medical driver, Julie, and I are listening. Julie is a first-time listener. Big hugs.
Right.
We'll give Julie a hug for us.
Maybe she'll be a continual listener now.
We hope so.
Yeah.
Thanks. Hope you enjoy it, Julie. And tell Ann she's fantastic. Treat her well, because she is the best.
Yep.
And hopefully you guys are on a motorcycle. Jeff's favorite card game is Texas Not Hold'em.
Oh, Friender.
John says, happy birthday, Friender. He says, nice shirt, Tony. You look like what came out of Jeff's lip. That made me laugh. That made me laugh. Today, he turns 45. All right, I wasn't too far off. My mother wanted a girl. My father wanted a stain. And I can't believe I just read that.
Yeah.
All right. Frank, this is... Oh, you were here last week, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
I almost didn't even know he was here now.
That's Frank. He just sits there.
Very quiet.
Yeah. Frank, are you familiar with Jeff Pevar? Or did you not know who that was?
I know the name. I didn't really know much about him aside from that.
All right. All right. Well, that'll be fun when he's here.
5 minutes time.
Yes. I just gotta move the graphic. Yeah, really looking forward to him hanging out with us. I mentioned yesterday, and I will mention it when he comes on.
Yeah.
I was telling you before we went on the air that Jeff Pevar. I said on the air yesterday I wasn't sure if he was going to come on because I don't know how many brothers he has, if he has more than one, but one of them passed away this past Sunday. So I saw him post about it on Facebook. I felt bad.
Yeah.
Of course, but at the same time I'm like, oh, how do I ask this guy now? You're still doing my show? Without sounding cold,
Yeah,
So
you just say, hey, man, if you can't do it, I understand.
And that's exactly what actually
don't feel pressured, to do this.
Right. What I said was, I wrote, Jeff, don't worry about the interview tomorrow. I said, I'm so sorry about your brother.
Perfect.
I said, we'll touch base. He wrote back very quickly. He said, no, I'm still good. And I wrote back, really? He was, it's just best to move on. He was, I'm in mourning. He said, but best to move on. It's what my brother would have wanted. I was like, okay.
Yeah, right.
All right. So, he should be joining us any time now.
So what anything I missed in my little hiatus from the show?
Well,
what can you tell me?
Not really, because
nothing was happening.
You were on hiatus because there was no show, right?
Well,
so,
that's right. There was a little, section of non-showing.
Well, yeah, there was that.
No show.
Well, right, and there was no seeing.
Right. No, not for you. There was.
Yeah, I was laid up, so so I don't really have much to report.
That's right, because I really was kind of on just before that, so I guess I didn't miss anything.
I think it was. So you and Francesca were on that Monday.
Yeah,
I did the rest of the week, and then I think it was the next week that all this started.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty sure that's when it was.
Because I was actually supposed to be on that following Monday, and the show got canceled.
Oh, you were supposed to do that following Monday?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. That's right.
Oh, all right. So
coming back to me now.
So if that's the case, then you were on the last week because you guys did a Monday. This all started on a Tuesday. Mm-hmm. So, all right. So you were here that last week, and then and I was off for. I think it was 4 weeks.
Yeah. Yeah, so I didn't miss nothing then.
No, you didn't miss anything. Right. I sat,
home.
Sat home just
listening to Met games.
Listening to bad Met games.
Terrible Met games. I went to the Met Yankee game.
Nice.
One of the three.
One of the ones they won?
My union got tickets, and we went. We were in the freaking nosebleed, 502.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
And that's the game they lost. The first game, the Friday night game. And then they win the next two.
Well, we know what the problem is.
I was there.
Yeah. Stop going to Met games. You're not allowed. But at least they've rebounded. They've been doing decent since.
Well, now they just lost a couple to Washington.
Yeah, true. They 2 in a row.
They suck.
Yeah.
Dude, they're terrible. There's something going on in that clubhouse that's not good.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I'm
starting to think Lindor is an issue.
Yes, I would definitely agree with that. But
and I always said before this stuff came out, I felt Lindor was a problem in the locker room.
Oh, all right.
And then other people, he's been good, he's great. Okay. Now
he is a great player, but
now it's back to him being a cancer in the locker room.
All right, well, I am going to cut you off because we can talk about the Mets anytime.
Yep.
But right now,
more important things to talk about.
That's right. Jeff Pevar is here, ladies and gentlemen. Excellent. So we got to talk to him. Jeff Pevar has arrived.
Welcome to the show, sir.
Hi.
How are you, sir?
You know what, man? Every day we're 6 feet above is a good day.
That's exactly what I say. I say the same exact thing.
Absolutely right.
Yeah.
And I guess, weird way, you gave me a good, you gave me a segue. I wanted to, apologize about your recent loss, and I'm still amazed that you're even here. But, our condolences.
Well, without getting too deep into it, my brother's quality of life was so diminished that the silver lining is that he's free. And that makes it easier.
Sure, absolutely.
It doesn't make it easy. But, because we were very, very close, and we always will be. He'll always be with every step I take. He's just in my heart. So thank you for saying.
Yeah,
of
man.
course,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Don't mind me. I'm just fixing some graphics so we can get a good view of everybody.
Nice.
But we're thrilled that you're here. I have, me personally, have been a big fan of your work for a long, long time.
You don't get out much, do you?
I get out plenty, and I'm hoping to get out, soon. Particularly,
That's very sweet. Thank you.
What is it, June 4th? You're playing in New York City, I believe.
Oh, we start this tour with this band, Our House, and for those who don't know about this band, Our House, so it's the music of Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young, and the thing that's kind of unique about this band is versus, let's just say, a tribute band, is that many of us, a number of us, have actually played with them, and certainly I have a over 30-year history with David Crosby and Graham Nash, and
right.
I was asked to join Crosby, Stills and Nash, and then David Crosby's band, and then a band that David and his son and I put together called CPR.
That's right. I was. Don't mind me. So I'm having issues with graphics, but I was.
You're fine.
I was just talking about it before you joined us,
Oh.
and I'm holding up all the albums.
Oh, wow.
I love these albums. These albums.
I'm so proud, as you can imagine. And as David Crosby used to say, yeah, they sold really well. They went balsa. No, the people who know, the people know. And a lot of people were saying it was the best stuff that, Crosby had done in 20 years when that came out. Whatever, basically, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. But that being said, to be invited into a father and son reunion. I mean, David and I were playing together for a number of years, and it was very interesting for me because, like any person who is, let's just say, in a famous band, you're kind of relegated to play the same songs over and over and over.
Sure.
And not that he didn't take pride in his work with Crosby, Stills and Nash, or Crosby, Stills and Nash and Young, because of course he did, but it was really important to him to keep moving forward. And so after kind of playing the hits and, doing the concerts over and over and over, he was excited to kind of, start a new swath. And when we met, it was very exciting for him because, well, I was, I don't know if you want me to get in the story of how we met.
We actually covered the story of how David and James came together.
Got it.
Yeah.
Got it.
So,
all right. Well,
on.
to try to, I mean, how long do we have? I can kind of go for a while, but
Good to know.
It's a beautiful story.
Yes.
I was touring with Mark Cohn, Walking in Memphis guy.
Yep.
And Mark's just an incredible performer and a lovely man. And we were touring as a duo,
right.
playing 2,000 seat, theaters, and we toured Europe. And it was such an amazing opportunity for me after playing in, larger ensembles, rock and roll ensembles, bands, bass, drums, blah, blah, blah. And then with Ray Charles Orchestra,
right.
to all of a sudden be in this duo in front of huge crowds. And Mark was an amazing entertainer and could make a huge theater feel like a living room. So
nice.
We opened for Crosby, Stills and Nash. And I, being a huge fan of that music and being very well versed in their catalog, our very first show, Crosby walks out on the side stage and I start playing one of his songs. This is just during our sound check.
Right.
There's a song called Triad that I learned from the live version of Four-Way Street, and it's just a gorgeous song. And I started playing the chords, and he looks at me, kind of smiles. I looked at him, and we just immediately bonded. After our sound check was done, we're back in the room with David and Graham trying to learn harmonies to our songs so they could sit in during our set.
Nice.
And for maybe 3 shows into our opening for Crosby, Stills and Nash, Crosby pulls me aside after a gig and he goes, Nash and I have been watching you, and we think you'd be the perfect guy for when the two of us are doing gigs without Steven. And I wish I had the wherewithal because of the banter that we used to do together. I wish I had the wherewithal to have said to him, I don't know, Davey, I've got some weddings.
Well, and you don't fool me. You know, you learned triad because of what that song's about.
Well, look, I'm a self-taught guitar player.
Yeah.
A self-taught musician, and I wasn't that excited about school, and I was very excited about music. So a lot of the things that I learned had to do with learning music and all the social things that kind of came around with that. Right. As David Crosby used to say, and one of the reasons why he played guitar was so he could, have a social life.
Right.
And so, getting a chance to play with all these different musicians in my career, I've been, the world opened up in all these various ways. And again, touring with Ray Charles. We went to Japan. We went to Europe. We played all the big jazz festivals.
Amazing.
I was 27 at the time.
Yeah.
Wow. 27.
Yeah. So, getting this opportunity to work with David, we became fast friends. I could see how excited he was to be working with a guitar player of my abilities. Look, Stephen Stills is a absolute master.
Yes.
And along with the mastery is the personalities. And David and Stephen loved each other, but they clashed as well.
Yep.
And I was just, a young guy. It's like, yeah, whatever you want to play. And in fact, our first tour, they gave me a set list. I learned all the songs. And then I think it was the second night, they tore up the set list and said, hey, what songs does anyone want to hear? Raise your hand. And as long as it's a Crosby song or a Graham Nash song or a Crosby Nash song, we'll do it. And so I'm playing songs that I'd never heard before.
Oh my goodness.
And they trusted me. And, there's a piece of equipment that I attached to my pedal board, my effects, and it's called a volume pedal. And so if I didn't know what chord was coming next, I could kind of play more like a cello player. I could ooze in some symphonic, lines with delay and kind of paint. And I was very good at that. And it's not like their music was that complicated to where it's like Stravinsky. You could kind of have a decent idea where it might be going next. And by the second time it came around, I knew it because I can hear music that way. I'm pretty quick.
That's one of the things I like about your guitar playing, because
thank you.
I don't know if you've ever gotten a comparison like this, but your playing is very atmospheric, a lot like Steve Hackett.
Nice.
And he's very atmospheric in my opinion. But it must have been a challenge though, because Crosby has all those weird tunings and stuff. So it's not like you're playing a Chuck Berry riff. No. So to hear that for the first time, it must have been a little nerve-wracking, I would think.
They were so excited to have me aboard, and at a certain point, the overly conscious mind takes a back seat to the natural musical mind, and I've learned this over years, that there's a much bigger force going on if you just get the heck out of the way and let the music play you. Okay. And that's something, that maybe I hadn't really, kind of trusted back then, but there is just this natural chemistry, right? And it's one of the reasons why they liked hearing what I did and why they chose me. And there was a very natural compatibility that happened from the lyricism and the melodicism, and also the friendship. It was very easy to just meld with these guys, and of course, such a fucking honor, because I attempted to grow up listening to these records.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
and being a fan of Stephen Stills, and being a fan of Larry Carlton, and being a fan of Robin Ford and Rod Cooder, and the list goes on and on.
Absolutely.
You're kind of choosing embroidery and color from everything you've ever heard, and then you're applying it to whatever happens to be going on at any given time.
Wow. And it's just so great, and I'm glad you guys are out there doing it, because the type of music, like with all these great harmonies and stuff, it's kind of like, I don't know, I hate to say it, but it's almost like a dying thing. You don't
exactly. You don't
hear a lot of.
You don't hear that stuff.
No, you
like
don't.
That.
So
it's not made like that anymore.
Yeah, you're right. To keep this music alive is an absolute honor, and because I have the tenure and the years of learning how to do it from the guys,
right,
and even bringing in my own ideas to the guys, it's a beautiful thing to revisit this music and keep it alive, because there's a lot of people in my age bracket who want to see this played live, and there's a lot of younger people who are being introduced to this music, and it's a beautiful thing, because to me it's a very important part of American music culture and just music culture in general.
Yeah, agreed, totally agreed. And did you? Did you talk to Graham or Steven or about doing this tour? It's sad because you really don't. I mean, Graham is still out there. Steven really, I don't know what he's doing anymore. But did you get their blessing, so to speak, or you just
Well, it started off with just Graham, David, and I touring as a trio.
Right. No, I'm talking about the Our House show. Like, did you get there?
Oh, I see. Well, put it this way. There's lots of musicians playing this music. Right?
Yes.
And my relationships with each of them, kind of took a various course. When I was touring with David and Graham, we did that for a number of years, and to their credit, they not only were so generous to me and wanted me to, they never said, hey, I need you to do this, I need you to play this solo. It was like, I came in, I made my choices, and they were happy with what I decided to do. There were certain songs that, Stephen Stills would play this lick that, to me, it had to be there at the beginning of the song, like Wooden Ships or Almost Cut My Hair. And I don't know if it's Stephen or Neil or whatever, but there's melodies that stick in my head. And for me to, totally bring in my own thing, it just didn't sound like the song to me, So I call it tipping my hat to the composition.
Sure.
And then as time went on, David and Graham decided to do a record, their very last Crosby Nash record.
Yeah.
And in fact, I do have a song on that record that I wrote with Graham called Jesus of Rio.
Yep.
And they got James Taylor to sing on my song. So, it's just like bucket list. So, and when we were in the studio that year, Graham comes up to me and goes, Stephen, God bless him, he won't learn our songs. So we're going to tell Stephen that you and James Raymond are going to tour with Crosby, Stills, and Nash this summer. It's kind of like an ultimatum. Right. I said, I don't know. I feel like the other woman, But I had attempted to meet Stephen a number of times, and in fact, I sat in with Graham and David during a number of CSN shows where usually the second set, they each kind of do their own thing.
Yep.
Maybe David would play a solo tune, or maybe David and Graham would play us one or two songs together, and then maybe Stephen would play. So if I was anywhere in a proximity, they would often say, hey, why don't you come down and, sit and play with us, And so the very first time, I think we were opening, Mark Cohn and I were opening in California. And then Jackson Browne sits in with us, which was, an incredible opportunity to meet Jackson.
That's awesome.
I love that guy.
Yeah.
And then I go to sit in with David and Graham, and it's the first time we ever played together live. And I'm walking up the stage, totally elated. The crowd went nuts. They loved, what they heard. And Stephen's walking out, and I, by mistake, trip on his guitar cord, which cinched the cord in his strap, and he's like, I could see him how being a comfortable, like, fucking kid, whatever. And he goes up to the microphone and goes, "Am I fired now?" Oh, and it was such a weird kind of juxtaposition of me feeling like I just sat in with two of my childhood heroes, and the other guy wants to kill me. But fortunately, when the Crosby, Stills, and Nash opportunity came in, I said to David and Graham, I strongly advise arranging a get-together with Steven on his own turf, that I could go to his house, we could bro down. I'm very, I understand, how people could take pride and maybe people could be guarded or whatever. And I kind of knew in advance that if I have a chance to bro down, let him know that I'm here to support you, man. You're, one of my biggest teachers, and I'm here to support the music, and this isn't a competition. And it worked out great. It's like walking in, like this story where the kid walks into the lion's cage and pulls out the thorn. Right. And he, we ended up jamming, and he said, "I didn't know you could play guitar like that." And, we became very close during that time. And, I'm just very glad that all happened. As time goes on, relationships take their own natural course. Right. I don't think Steven, well, it's funny because the next guitar player who came into that fold was a fantastic player named Shane Fontaine. And I was told the first thing Steven did, well, let me just say this, there were songs when we were touring that, because Steven didn't learn, the Crosby Nash songs, I was the lead guitar player. And there was one song where the two of us traded off. And every time we did that, the crowd would go fucking nuts. And it was, such an accomplishment for me, listening to those records, learning how to play guitar to those records. Yeah. Here I am on stage, with, they call it guitar dueling. I don't know why they call it that, but doing that with Steven Stills, one of my, most influential teachers, especially when I was, first into that music. And then of course, all my teachers, the list goes on, Jeff Beck and Hendrix and Robin Ford and Larry Culp. But anyway, getting a chance to do that with Steven, we got very close, and it was an incredible, what do you call it? Just an opportunity and an affirmation. Not only that I could hang with the big boys, but that I could be of service to them, that I could be of service to that music. I could do it in a way that they weren't threatened, they were welcoming. And because Steven, sometimes left the stage for us to do some of these songs. So anyway, Shane joins the band after I left, because I had some other things going on after 2 years. And Steven comes up to him and goes, "Let me get something straight right now. I'm the lead guitar player in this band." So, it's everyone has their right to kind of claim their place. And if anybody has a right to claim the lead guitar space in Crosby, Stills, and Nash, it's Steven Stills.
Yeah, I would think so.
Yeah, Jeff, would you say, first off, great name, by the way, because I'm Jeff as well. But
nice, a classic case of double jeopardy.
There you go. Now,
sorry.
Would you say, sitting there having the guitar duel, they say, with Steven Stills, was that your pinch me moment? What was your pinch me moment through all coming up in the realm of the industry?
Well, there's been nonstop
a lot, I'm sure,
pinch me moments. And yes, of course, I mean, all those moments, getting on stage with Crosby and Nash, what a pinch me moment. Getting invited to play Carnegie Hall with the two of them. My dad, my family was in the audience. Excuse me. What a pinch me moment. Wow. I mean, every musician dreams if someday I could get to Carnegie Hall, right?
Or Madison Square Garden.
Right? Yeah. I did that with Bette Midler too, and with my dear friend Morris Pleasure, who is also from Connecticut. So yeah, all these pinch me moments. Every time I've gone into a record store and a record with my name on it is there, it's a pinch me moment. Every time I get out of bed these days, is a pinch me moment. So, I'm just, a friend of mine said, I got an attitude of gratitude. And
that's the way to do it.
Yeah. At a certain point, you see what's going on in the world. You see people living, frightened to walk out of their house because bullets are flying. We're just so lucky to have what we have. And
yes.
But yeah, there's obviously certain things that were, oh my God, I'm playing with Ray Charles and I just played a guitar lick and he screamed in delight and he turned around and said, "You nasty boy." I mean, there's so many pinch me moments. I was touring with Joe Cocker. We played behind the Iron Curtain in front of 150,000 people.
Wow.
That was a pinch me moment.
Oh my God, yeah.
Yeah, I have a lot of them, and I have the scars to prove it.
Well,
and clearly there's going to be more to come.
I'm a big fan of the segue. So when you say you have a lot of scars,
yeah,
that takes me to your style of playing. You're a big finger picker. Picker.
Yeah. Okay.
Now, I'm a big fan of Lindsey Buckingham, and I've seen him in interviews talk about finger picking and the way he plays. He's always, tearing off, fingernails and whatnot.
Right.
Is that finger picking? Did you develop that style because you were listening to records and teaching yourself, or was that some kind of conscious move where you preferred, you just preferred it for some reason?
It's a good question.
Hey, thanks.
And in fact, I wish I could devise an answer, except that when I play, I'm not that conscious of what my choices are.
Oh, that's interesting.
I'm going after something, and physically, there is something that happens not only sonically when you play with your fingers. And one of the things that affected me early on was me listening to a band that I just totally loved called Loggins of Messina.
Oh, sure.
And Jim Messina has a sound where he it was very percussive, with a Telecaster. Yeah. And it was so lyrical and beautiful. And I think he got that sound from playing with his fingers, kind of like a Mark Knopfler, if you will.
Right, sure.
So there's something about velocity. There's something about control of velocity. And for me, using my fingers, I have much more control of, the velocity and the tone of the string, that the sound that comes versus a piece of plastic rubbing against the string. It's just a feel kind of thing. And being affected by musicians like a Robin Ford or Larry Carlton, who played on Joni Mitchell songs, and I could hear a certain finesse that was just so articulate and so much finesse that I was out to try to acquire that ability of the dynamic range from 0 to 11.
Yeah.
And so that using my fingers kind of was part of that, as well as I just sometimes feel like I have more control of more of the strings, since I have all these fingers, and various fingers can be on various strings versus one pick that you're kind of trying to find each string.
Right.
I didn't develop my right hand to the degree that I could control that many strings as well as my individual fingers.
Oh, wow. That was a great answer right there. That was really cool.
Yeah.
So I guess like a guy like Crosby, who is not known for lead guitar playing,
correct.
So rhythm, like if you're playing rhythm, like David Crosby, a great rhythm player, John Lennon, a great rhythm guitar player.
Agreed.
So that's for you, would that be more of that's the time for the pick if you're playing rhythm?
Yeah, yes, I think you're right. And as well as more aggressive power chords and, rock playing. And you could still do it with, like, sometimes I use my hand kind of swiping it across, so I'm using my nail like a pick.
Right.
But it just kind of depends on the tune and the if I happen to have a pick or if I dropped it or not.
That's great.
Yeah,
Hate when that happens.
You're trying to look all cool, and you just dropped the pick.
Oh yeah.
Everybody's like,
I
"Wow,
have
you
a
went from the
bunch.
pick to the finger. Did you see that?"
So
You
fast.
just dropped
I
it.
know.
That
I
was
have a bunch
amazing.
on my microphone stand and a pick holder.
Right.
And then I always see all these photos with the pick in my mouth. Because it's like, I don't need this right now. Where do I put it? I'll just put it in my teeth. And there's a ton of pictures, with this thing hanging out of my mouth. But,
Right.
I'm not really concerned about how I look. And, my I've often seen photos of me doing guitar face where it looks like I've stepped on a nail or something. I'm in pain. Are you having a heart attack? No, I'm just feeling it. Having fun.
That's great.
No doubt.
That's cool.
Yeah. Right.
And it's like I said, I'm thrilled. We're talking to Jeff Pevar. He's currently on tour with a show called Our House, the music of Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young. I'm thrilled to see you guys out there. I really miss I'm Crosby's voice. You just it's just I don't know. Sometimes it bothers me because he's you mentioned David Crosby and people think about the drugs. They think about Melissa Etheridge and all that craziness. But that voice, man, I mean,
There's no mistaking it.
One of the smoothest, best voices ever. You just don't. He as famous as he was or is, he's in my opinion still doesn't get enough credit for that voice. Yeah.
I mean, look, the people who know. At a certain point, that's what's so amazing about art. You get 10 people looking at the Mona Lisa and 5 go, "Oh my God," and 5 go, "So big deal."
Yeah.
So
It's so small.
Exactly. It's just what happens with art. And I remember kind of coming to a place where I relaxed with my own thing versus coming from a place, I hope everybody loves me, to like, you know what, man, I'm going to offer this out. This is just a gift. And if they get it, great. And if they don't, that's okay. Because there's so many great musicians. There's so many, and there's a lot of armchair, judgment people. I did this gig with Phil Lesh, playing the songs of the Grateful Dead. It was Phil Lesh and Friends.
Nice.
And I was so excited. And I looked at these reviews and I could not believe how scathing some of these people were, what they would say. It's like, guys, this is just music,
Right.
It's just supposed to be like a gift, and it's like, can't play, we're shit, and, whatever. It's like, wow. So I kind of learned that, you know what, man, you have to kind of decide that if you're the captain of the ship, you're the captain of the chair, if you will, because, often there's a guitar chair, a bass chair.
Right.
So you're the captain, you have the gig. You just have to try to live up to your own expectations. Yes, you are there to serve the music. Yes, you are there to serve the artist.
Right.
But, as I've evolved into someone who not only takes pride, which I always did, but accept my limitations and work my ass off to do the best I can and try to live up to my expectations where, even if you're getting close to your expectations, and that's one of the things that's always been good about me is like, I'm never truly satisfied. I certainly do have some things I'm incredibly proud of. Like
course.
The CPR records and whatever. Ooh, I got off a good one there.
Right.
I feel good about that. That lives forever. There's a live Crosby record that we did at the Whiskey, which was a live radio show, and they put it out on Atlantic as David's last record. It's called "It's All Coming Back to Me Now," and I got off some really some things that I'm proud of,
Right.
and the CPR stuff. So. It's like you get up to the bat and you're trying to get the grand slam, and you're not always going to get the grand slam.
But then, like you said, you got these people that are, you're reading these reviews that could be very scathing, and it's like, you sit there and go, do they really even know anything about music, half these people?
Yeah.
You know, and
Right.
if you do a show, and if you feel good about the show, you guys as a band
Right.
feel great about the show, the crowd
Yes.
it was so into it and all.
Yep.
That's the best part. I can,
Yep.
I guess, I could
Yep.
see artists being like, the hell with the reviewers. They, whatever.
Yeah.
You got to learn to ignore them as long as you guys are happy as a
Yeah.
unit and pleased with everything.
Opinions are like
Buttholes.
yeah, exactly. Everyone's got one, right? And it's very
You know?
easy to sit back in your armchair and put someone down when it's like, okay, well, what are you doing?
Yeah, how was your gig
Right.
last night,
Yeah,
by
yeah,
the way?
yeah.
But I'll tell you, the worst are the Beatle fans, because as a big Beatle head, and Frank is and Jeff is, but the real crazy Beatle fans, like if you change a single note or if a guitar note is a little longer or shorter than the record, they flip out. And I can't stand that. That
Yeah.
makes me nuts.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
Makes me
the
crazy.
thing that I like that we do in our band, the Our House Ensemble, we pick and choose how we honor the stuff. But you know what? The original recording's already been done, and nothing is going to ever sound like that.
That's right.
And nothing's ever going to match that blend or anything. So going into it, we are taking some liberties to realize we're never going to sound like that, and we shouldn't try. We should just try to honor the essence of this music.
Right.
And everyone there is an accomplished musician. So everyone should have an opportunity to shine their light on this music.
Right.
And that's the way it should be. And that's what David and Graham always gave
Oh,
me.
sure.
They didn't ask me to be Stephen Stills, because there is no other Stephen Stills. Only Stephen Stills could be Stephen Stills. So
Stephen Stills can't be Jeff Pevar.
That's right.
well, everyone has their own thing.
Right.
yeah,
right.
exactly.
And that's what's beautiful about music.
Well, that's what I like about this particular show, the Our House Ensemble, because you guys did a Facebook live feed last week.
Cool. Yeah.
And I watched the first half. I didn't watch the second half yet, but
Yeah.
but
Oh.
what got me talking about styles and not copying and whatnot. You guys do Southern Cross. Both you and Steve Postel have electric guitars. Like, to me,
Yeah.
that's an acoustic thing. But then I listen to it with you guys. I'm like, oh, that's kind of cool. So I like how you guys aren't copying the records. You put your own spin. It's still the great song that it is. It's not like you made a disco beat of it or something. You just
No.
So it still has the flavor and the feel of the great song that it is. But to me, I was like, oh, that's cool. I've never heard it with electric guitar, so I dug it. I liked it. So
well, I will say this: there's various size tours. There's various budgets of tours.
okay,
This particular run was only 3 dates. One of them had actually been postponed because lack of of ticket sales.
Oh, wow.
And the business, as we understand, I mean, with the tariffs going on, and certain places sold out, and certain places barely sold advance. So there was a show in Orlando that there wasn't enough advance for the promoter to feel comfortable about continuing to take the chance that there'd be enough what they call walk up, right?
okay, yeah,
And so admittedly, for 3 shows, Steve decided to not take an acoustic. He has one guitar that does both acoustic and electric.
sure,
And he has that tuned to a tuning, one of David's wacky tunings
Right.
that is used on Guinevere, and the same tuning is used on Deja Vu.
nice.
So normally there would be one acoustic guitar and one electric guitar on Southern Cross, and Stephen Stills does play an electric guitar on the record.
Well, yes, but
Yeah.
the acoustic's more like prominent, more
Prevalent.
the main.
Prevalent.
Yeah,
Of course, and their music is very, acoustic based.
Yeah. Right,
A lot of their songs will have. Well, sure. When you're in the recording studio, you can use whatever you want to use at any time. But
Right.
yeah. But I'm glad the point that you're making is appreciated, because ultimately we're using whatever we can afford to have. And excess baggage being what it is. We try to, when I was touring the Crosby or Crosby, Stills and Nash, I mean, I had a lot of guitars to choose from. I'll use this one for this song and this one for that song and the lap steel, and the double neck, whatever. So, when all your stuff is traveling around in a trailer truck, you load it once and you unload it once. But when you're doing the fly dates, it's a different thing.
Yeah. All right. I wanted to ask. So I also have here, some of your stuff as well.
Thank you.
Great stuff. I haven't.
I
just received it all. I just received it all last week.
Nice.
So I haven't.
I saw that you ordered.
Oh,
That's really
cool.
Sweet.
No, absolutely. I should have done it a long time ago.
It's all good, man.
But I'm really enjoying it, and this one in particular, Anthem. You mentioned
David's on one of the tracks.
He's on one of the tracks. And I noticed that you're playing almost all the instruments on here.
Yes.
So
I do that on the records.
How many instruments do you play? Do you know?
Well, I have a lot.
Yeah.
I have a lot of instruments. On the records that I do with my wife and as well as on my solo record, there's two different scenarios there. Do we have a little time to discuss?
If you do, we do.
Oh, I'm totally into it.
Cool.
Absolutely.
So this is a cool story. So the Jeff Pevar from the Core record, right? Mm-hmm. I've always wanted to do a record. It totally escaped me. What the hell do I choose? Because I love so many different styles of music. There's already a Jimi Hendrix. There's already a Jeff Beck. There's already a Stevie Ray Vaughan. There's already a Larry Carlton. I fancy myself, let's just say, a dabbler in many, and I try to do my best to get close to mastery of as many as I dabble in, right? So I've played in country bands, I've played in fusion bands, I played in blues bands, I played in rock bands, I played in all these different types of bands.
Yeah.
Being as eclectic, musician that I am, how would I choose what direction to put out a first record? If I choose one direction, then I'm pigeonholed as if I do a blues record, he's just a blues guy. Or if I do a fusion record, there's all this other stuff that, is a part of my musicality. So what ended up happening was this, I used this analogy that my two Yiddish angels, Schlecki and Schlermy, conspired. Oh. Hey, fucking schmuck Pevar, he doesn't even have a record. I mean, this kid's 16 years old that don't even have, pubic hair yet. And they got records out. What are we going to do, Schlermy? Schlecki, I got an idea. Let's get a guy to call him to do music for the Oregon Caves National Monument PBS video. And he's going to, so here's what happened. I get a call to do music for a PBS special on the Oregon Caves National Monument by a friend of mine. And how that works, normally there'll be a video, and then they send it to whoever's scoring the video, and we need music here, we need music here, we need music here, and you decide on what you're going to play. Instead, so he called me, and I signed on for the gig, and he called me 2 days later and said, hey, if you want to, you can record in the caves themselves. And a voice said, do not prepare, just go there. This is, the voice in my head. Just go there and let the caves inspire you. So I took two instruments, a 6-string acoustic and an 8-string mandocello. Mandocello is a full-size, guitar-size mandolin, paired strings, so 4 paired strings.
Yeah.
And so thinking in a producer mind, producer meaning they're going to be wanting to use selections of what I record today for a video, and it could be any type of mood. So I'm going to do something up and exciting, something mellow, something this, something that.
Sure.
I'm going to use some of my Joni Mitchell tunings. I'm going to play slide guitar and play a blues. I'm going to see what happens. I'm just not even going to know what I'm going to do until, all right, what's the next one? It's like, all right, how about this? And so the saving grace of that was they gave me the Pro Tools tracks so I could go back into my studio and do a little bit of editing. Some pieces from start to finish. Some pieces I had a nice intro. It took me a minute to get to the real nut of it, the crystallization of whatever lick I was going for.
Right.
So I could chop off a minute and then, okay, great. And if I needed to, I could copy it. And, so I gave them 12 pieces in 3 hours.
Wow.
And they used 8 out of, and they used 8 out of those 12 pieces for the PBS special, the Marble Halls of Oregon National Monument or whatever it's called.
Wow.
And then I get a phone call from my friend who hired me. And he said, look, the people at the national park want to know if you'd be interested in putting this out as a CD. So I said, yes, but I need to adorn this. It's one thing to have one acoustic guitar underneath some guy who's going, Oregon caves were discovered in blah, 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 blah. Some nice little acoustic guitar versus something standing on its own. I said, I'm going to overdub, but I'm only going to use things you can walk into a cave with. So on my wall is an accordion, and I have a banjo, and I have a mandolin, and I have a ukulele, and I have, instruments that I'm not really that proficient at. But when I have my own studio, if I have to record one note at a time with the accordion or her harmonica, or take one phrase, try it 5 times. Oh, there it is.
Right.
And I added all these kind of spices to the original mix. And so I also was able to get a few friends, a violinist, and then I actually texted someone who I met about a year prior, John Anderson, the vocalist from Yes.
Right.
He was at a show that I did with Ricky Lee Jones. I didn't know it. And the very next night he was playing, and I went to his show, and I went backstage to say hello because the owner asked me if I wanted to.
Nice.
And he said, I saw you last night. I'd love to work with you. Here's my email address. Oh, wow. So I had this one song called River of Dreams. And I wrote to John on a Sunday morning. I said, John, you had mentioned you'd like to collaborate. If you have any ideas for this song, even la, 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 la. It's John Anderson. La, la. So it's called River of Dreams. And I sent him 2 other pieces just so he could hear a little bit more of the breadth of the music, because the song I sent to him was very simple. Anyway, in 3 hours, all 3 songs come back with vocals, harmonies, overdubs, 3-part overdubs, and a letter saying, you made my morning. And I'm flipping out. And I realized I can't feature John on 3 songs. It won't be a Jeff Pevar record anymore. So I said, if you're cool with it, I'm going to feature you on the 1 song. So this gig that was just going to be a scoring gig was this opportunity for me to not only have an opportunity to put up my first record. I had no idea what direction it was going to go. It was total happenstance.
Yeah.
And Schlecky and Shlomi were conspiring. We're going to get Eva to put out a record. And we'll get that guy who sings like a broad.
So the back cover is you in the cave?
In the caves.
Yeah.
In the caves.
Cool. Wow. That's a cool story.
Isn't that a great story?
That is a great story.
And because I'm known for my guitar solos. So I love that this thing is just totally acoustic. Most of the solos are done with a fretless acoustic guitar.
Nice.
That I overdub on the record. So that's that one. Then the records that I do with my beautiful wife, Inger Nova Jorgensen, the best thing that ever happened in my life.
Nice.
She's an incredible sculptor, by the way, sculptor and painter. And she has a website, IngerNovaJorgensen.com. And if you check it out, it's going to blow your mind. She's amazing. Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead. Sorry, I thought you were done. Well, all right. Well, speaking of your wife, I do. Yeah. So before you joined us, I played a clip of you playing the national anthem. I played a clip of you singing the blues tune "Crossroads." I also, I'm going to play it at the end when we're done. I have a clip of you and your wife doing "You Make Me Feel Like a Natural Woman."
Oh wow.
The reason I chose this, and it's not really like a cool thing for guys to talk about, but I'm going to do it. There's a part in that clip where you guys are playing Natural Woman, and she kind of like leans into you while she's singing. You look at her, and get the biggest smile on your face, like, and I just thought that was really cool. Like, this guy digs his wife, man, and you
Oh, my
and you
God.
guys have a nice chemistry on stage. She's got a great voice, and you almost made Natural Woman like a bluesy type, almost. You know,
Nice.
with some of the licks you were doing. I really got a kick out of it. I really enjoyed that. So I'm
Thank you.
so I'm quickly
Well,
becoming a fan of hers as well.
I have some exciting news. Are you familiar with Bruce Coburn?
Yeah, of course.
We're going to tour with Bruce Coburn this fall.
The two of you.
The two of us
Oh, wow.
in a trio with Bruce Coburn.
Not like opening for him. You guys are actually playing with him.
With him.
Oh, wow.
I'm going to be mostly playing fretless bass, but of course, because I am a multi-instrumentalist, when I get the full scale of songs, it's like, oh, Bruce, I should play mandolin on it. Ooh, I should play some dobro, slide
Right.
dobro. Ooh, I should play a little six string with you.
Well,
but
the budget will allow you to bring all those instruments.
we'll find out. I hope so. Yeah, I hope so.
You know-
I bought this little kala bass. I don't know if you've ever seen these U basses. They're the size of a ukulele.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I wanted to take a fretted bass because I have two different fretless basses. He writes so eclectically.
Yes.
He's a fucking genius. I'm sorry. The guy is one of the most amazing songwriters in the world, I think.
Wow.
He's like the Canadian Paul Simon. Although he does use his platform to talk about his dissatisfaction with humanity and with corporations and with power, and also his feelings about God and Jesus, which everyone has every right to talk about what they believe, right?
Absolutely
Yeah.
right.
Yep.
Yep.
And I have great respect for him. Inger turned me on to him because I had heard his name but wasn't that familiar.
Sure.
And he's been her favorite, him and Michael Hedges. For Inger to get a chance to tour with her husband and her favorite singer-songwriter in the world, we're doing 18 shows starting in Canada. We're doing 4 shows in Canada where it's a night of, and then all the shows in the U.S. are with James Taylor's brother Livingston opening.
Oh, nice. He's
Yeah.
very good, Livingston
He's
Taylor.
awesome.
Yeah.
He's awesome. He's a great entertainer and a sweet man. We've met
Yeah.
numerous times. So imagine my delight, I'm not a young guy, so it makes me feel like I'm still a contender. To get out, it's to me, it's a major tour. I mean,
Sure.
it's major if the artist is incredible.
Right.
And so to honor the music of our house, I have another side project playing the music of Pink Floyd, and that's called the Gilmore Project.
Yes,
Nice.
I was going to ask you about that.
Nice.
I do that. There's another thing that is going to happen next year, celebrating the music of John Lennon.
Oh, nice.
I've been asked to do that as well. So, look, any day I could pick up my guitar and try to convince myself that I have a right to use this thing.
Yeah.
It's a good day.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
ultimately, if the offering makes other people happy, then it's a win-win. Right?
Absolutely.
Does the Gilmore Project, does it go outside of Floyd? Like his solo stuff?
Well, yes, it does. And
Yeah.
in fact, so many years ago, I got asked to be in a band by the same guy who's doing the Gilmore Project and the same guy who's doing the John Lennon thing. It was a band called Jazz is Dead.
Oh, sure.
I don't know if you ever heard of that.
Yeah, you guys do
And-
Grateful Dead stuff, right?
And the idea is taking Grateful Dead music
Yeah.
and putting it into a jazz fusion format, all instrumental jam band. And not that the Dead weren't a jam band, of course they were.
Yeah.
But the musicians who were in this thing, because I ended up touring with Phil Lesh. Phil Lesh was doing Phil and Friends.
Right.
And was, celebrating the music of the Grateful Dead. And so I had to learn 70 songs for that.
I bet.
And so then I get this call to do Jazz is Dead with 3 musicians who I relegated as some of the best musicians in the world. Alfonso Johnson on bass from Weather Report.
Yep.
T. Lavitz and Rod Morgenstein from the Dregs, the Dixie Dregs.
Oh.
All these guys are just, so were musicians. I felt I'm never going to get a chance to play with musicians this good. And so we take the music, and I was arranging a lot of the music, partly because I don't play guitar like Steve Morris. I can't play.
Oh, no.
I am getting a chance, to play with these incredible musicians, honoring the music of the Grateful Dead. I actually did take them into the studio on my own dime, and I put out a record called Grateful Jazz,
Nice.
and it's on my website. Rod Morgenstein said it is one of his proudest accomplishments.
Wow.
And we have special guests. We have Bill Evans on sax from Miles Davis. We have Jerry Goodman from the Mahavishnu Orchestra. We have Howard Levy, who played harmonica with Bela Fleck. We have Louis Conte, who plays with,
percussion.
Yeah. So anyway, I love that I get a chance to do all these different things. It's kind of like exercising different muscles. And, as I am advancing in my age, these are the things that I'm going to leave behind.
Right.
Yeah.
The music will be here forever. So From the Core record, the 2 records I did with my wife, the first one is Anthem. It's a 5-song EP. And I'm very proud of that. And then the newest one is called Hear Me Calling. And it's recordings that span from like 20 years ago when I first met my wife to recordings up to date. And each time we released a record is because we had a tour in Italy that was coming up, and we wanted to bring some merch, wanted to bring something to sell. So,
Sure.
I have a home studio, and yes, that's part of the reason why I play on all the instruments,
Right.
most of the instruments, sometimes all of the instruments.
Yeah. No, that's
and
cool.
She and I do all the vocals.
Very nice.
I did get a couple great drummers. The drummer from CPR is a guy named Steve DeStanislow.
Right.
Interesting story about Steve. So we're playing in London with Crosby Nash, and David Gilmour comes backstage and goes, "Love the show. I'm stealing your drummer."
Right.
And so Stevie played with David Gilmour for the 12 years or something.
Right.
Live concerts and live videos, and he's on the new record. So it's been a lovely ride, and I'm very thankful that the gas pedal is still hitting the ground.
Absolutely, and we're thrilled about that too. So you mentioned about with the R House,
Yes.
some of the dates. I mean,
Yes.
is New York still happening?
So here's what I have.
I hope you don't mind me putting you on the spot. Like if it's not happening, I'm like, sorry.
No.
I think
no.
we should go.
I put it up on my computer screen so I can. That's right. You can see our house playing the music of CSNY. June 4th, Hopewell, Virginia at the Beacon Theater. The 5th, Winchester, Virginia, the Bright Box. The 7th, Alexandria, Virginia, the Birchmere. The 9th, Sellersville, Pennsylvania at the Sellersville Theater. The 10th, Shirley, Mass, called the Bull Run. The 11th, each Greenwich, Rhode Island at the Greenwich Odeum. The 12th in Wilmington, Delaware at the Grand Odeum. The 13th in Annapolis, Maryland at the Ram's Head. New York is not on the docket, and maybe sometimes things get changed depending on whatever reason. And then in August, we have 14 dates. We're playing York, Pennsylvania. We're playing Jim Thorpe, Pennsylvania. We're playing New London, Connecticut at the Guard Theater on the 16th. Okay. And on the 18th, North Haven, Connecticut at the Small Batch Winery, which I've never heard of.
Yeah, right. I think I thought the city because the one I think was the first one you mentioned in Virginia, the Beacon Theater.
Yeah.
Or the Beacon, you said. So I was thinking Beacon Theater in New York City.
Of course you were.
So I was getting all excited. But maybe we'll take a ride up to Connecticut and go check this out.
I'm down.
You just let me know. I'll take care of you guys.
Oh, sweet!
Yeah,
I know. Now we're going.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
My first Crosby, Stills, Nash concert, 1986, 40 years ago.
Listen to this.
This
Jeff.
is the man who took me there. This is the man.
Wow.
I did not. Of course, I heard of them. I didn't know much about them. I knew like maybe some of the greatest hits.
We were 16 or 17.
16 or 17.
Wow.
And I have all their albums. I have all their guest appearances that all three of them have done on other people's albums. I have everything. I am a huge CSN guy.
Big time.
All because of this guy right here.
Do you have the live David Crosby? It's all coming back to me.
Absolutely. As soon as you mentioned it, I knew what you were talking about. And
But there's kind of a cool story about that because David, it was just a radio show, and
Right.
David owed Atlantic us another record as per his contract before he moved to whatever record company he was in after that.
Right.
But it came out so well that he decided to just release the board mix, which was done by their friend Hoover was his nickname. Chris Rankin. He's Kenny Rankin's son.
Sure.
I don't know how he got the name Hoover, but anyway, one can imagine. Anyway, it's an amazing mix. And when they were trying to look for a name for the record, David Crosby's guitar tech of like 30 years, John Gonzalez said, well, your first record was called If I Could Only Remember My Name. How about It's All Coming Back to Me then?
Yep. That's fantastic.
And then I wrote a song for the first CPR record running on that idea because of David's history, right? Because he came back from, what he came back from.
Right.
And when I had been doing some music with Kenny Loggins, and Kenny Loggins told me of a song that he wrote with Jimmy Messina. The song is called Watching the River Run. And Kenny said, how we did it was I wrote a line, then Jimmy wrote a line, then I wrote a line, then Jimmy wrote a line.
Wow.
So I had this idea while we were working on the first CPR record. There was all this stuff that James and David were gravitating towards that was very Steely Danny and very, esoteric and almost jazz. And it's like, I want to write a kind of a bluesy thing, kind of like Long Time Gone.
Right.
Because the way that David sings that, it's been long, it's blues, man.
Yes.
And he's got
Great
that
song.
vocal quality. So I came up with this idea. It's all coming back to me now in that vibe. It's all coming back, right?
Right.
And so I told David the idea, and because of the subject matter, first line I wrote was, I've been through rocky waters, I've been over the falls. I feel like a pilot in a plane when it stalls. So it was a really fun opportunity to take that song and move it to a piece of our legacy together.
Which then you on that Crosby tribute concert, I just heard some of the audio, right? You redid that song.
So yeah, there's been a number of Crosby tribute concerts. We did one in Rome. Is that the one that we're talking about?
It said, what was it called? Live from the Archives, Volume 3. I honestly, but I just saw that. I downloaded. You did that song, and
one would think
James Raymond did. He did Morrison.
Nice.
Yeah, there was a few.
Nice.
Yeah, there's a few there. Okay, so we are just about out of time.
Okay, brother.
Before we go, I just have some quick. Not rapid fire, but just some quick questions that we're going to go through. Go ahead.
Great.
And before we go, you get done with that, we have to tell them about that night we met Stephen and Greg.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, okay.
We got to tell them that story.
Yeah. Okay, do you ever get recognized?
Periodically.
Yeah, okay.
And you know what? I hate to say this, but more recently, people have been coming up to me and saying, has anyone ever told you look like Jeffrey Epstein?
Oh,
unfucking believable.
When you took the glasses off, I'm like, wow.
When I was a kid and had really long hair.
Right,
It so sucks. When I was a kid and had long hair, someone came up to me and said, hey, has anyone ever told you look like Tiny Tim? Well, unfortunately, that guy doesn't have any teeth anymore.
Oh, God.
But anyway,
wow.
Yeah, I sometimes will get recognized. And it's interesting. I mean, when you're kind of in the public eye more often, then it might happen more often. But here's another funny one. So I'm on tour, filling in for the guitar player, and I'll try to keep this short, with David Foster, and Michael Bolton is on the tour, right? Yeah. And we're in the Philippines, and I go downstairs to go out and take a walk, and all these Philippine fans come up to me clamoring for my autograph. Thinking I'm Michael Bolton, So anyway, yes, I sometimes get recognized, not always for me.
Right. That's actually a story I have. I think. When was the last time you toured with David? 2017.
Yeah, good question. It was before COVID, so
Yeah, it was. So it was around there somewhere. You guys were playing the Space right here in Westbury. It's only about 10 minutes from where Jeff and I are.
Oh, nice.
And I got in early, and I'm walking around the place, and you were standing by the soundboard before the show started, and I just patted you on the shoulder as I walked past, and I said, "You're a great guitar player," and kept walking. The girl I was with, she was behind me, and she said, "You have no idea how the big smile that guy had on his face after you said that to him." So I was proud.
Good job.
Absolutely.
Good job. Thank you.
All right, here's another one. Name a song that you feel everyone should know, but they don't. It could be by anybody. Anybody.
Well, all right. Let me say this, because I'm learning a zillion Bruce Cockburn songs right now.
Yeah.
And I'm verklempt. I'm getting a chance to do this. I have so much respect for this guy. I mean, he is, at a certain point, can anyone get better when an artist is at their zenith? And they're writing songs. It's one of the most beautiful songs I've ever heard. It's called "Us All," Bruce Cockburn.
Okay.
Right now, it's my personal favorite because it's hitting me. Especially with what's going on, losing my brother, and I've been looking, for comfort anywhere I can find it, and trying to not cry all day long.
Yeah, I hear you. Yep.
Yeah.
All right, now with all these people that you've played with, and I named just a few before you joined us, but there's such a long list. Is there still, and I guess maybe you're even doing it now with Cockburn, but is there still, like who's on the bucket list that you haven't touched, that you haven't been with?
I'll say this. When we were in LA, we were rehearsing at Center Staging, and who was down the hall but Paul McCartney and his band, right?
Yeah.
And
that's right. I've seen the picture of you with him. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I found out later you're not supposed to do that. Paul doesn't appreciate when people take pictures or whatever.
Oh,
he was kind enough to agree to it. I don't know if he was swearing at me after I left, but anyway, I had to do it because he was the guy.
Of course.
For all of us probably who play or whatever was alive then. So that the bucket list that happened was we went in to watch him play, and I'm sitting at the edge of the couch, and he's like 3 feet from me. And he's singing "Obla Di Obla Da," and I'm singing at it, smiling, almost laughing. And he's looking right at me, laughing at me because he could see how much joy it's bringing me. I felt like I was a 13-year-old girl, peeing in my pants, or whatever. But then he and his band came in to watch us play.
Oh, wow.
And that was the bucket list. So, yes, I would love to play with McCartney, but at least he had a chance to kind of hear me, a product of my adoration for him and and everyone else I love.
Did you so when he was watching you guys, did you guys play the CSN version of Blackbird?
I had a chance to play Deja Vu, where I have an extended guitar solo.
Right, yes.
For my mentor, my ultimate mentor, because of course, that was that changed my life.
Yeah. Absolutely. God.
The Beatles came on Ed Sullivan. It's like, I want to do that.
Mm-hmm. Right.
That's what I want to do.
Okay, 3 more quick questions, and then we have to split. Hardest, now again, a guitar virtuoso like yourself. Yeah. The hardest song for you to play. There are no such things.
Well,
nothing is hard for me.
No. So let's just further understand the question. The hardest song that I've ever learned and that I would be playing.
Any song that you've whether it's a song that you play every night or a song that you've tried to learn maybe once, whatever comes to mind.
Understood. Interesting. Wow. Because if I'm gonna play a song, I'm not gonna play it if I can't play it.
Okay.
Right. So the hardest one. So it's funny, when I was a kid. I got in this band. I was 15. I learned the solo to My Old School. And that was everyone used to come see this little punk play, My Old School. at one point I decided I got to learn Larry Carlton's solo for Kid Charlemagne. It's one of the greatest solos of all time.
Sure.
And and then the other day I tried to play it again, and it's like, okay, I got to spend 2 hours relearning this thing.
Right.
Great
tune.
Yeah, it's a great tune.
Yeah.
So I would, just because we're saying that, it's what's coming to mind right now. Yeah, I'll say Kid Charlemagne.
Denny Diaz, original guitar.
Ooh.
He grew up just actually in your neighborhood, in our hometown.
In our hometown,
I
Hicksville, Long
love
Island.
Denny Diaz. My old school. My gold teeth number 2, right?
Oh wow.
On Katie did.
Mm-hmm.
The guitar solo on that, as well as Bodhisattva.
Right.
The first solo.
Right.
Is Denny. The list goes on and on.
Yes,
oh my
sure
God.
does.
What a genius. But my gold teeth number 2 is one of the most beautiful guitar solos in the world.
Yeah.
I thought.
Wow, I haven't heard that. Well, I got to go back and listen to that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Who are these secrets who run and run wild? I was doing actually a little imitation of Donald because I had a chance to play with him.
Oh.
And the first thing was the Rock and Soul Review, which we did in New York City.
Right.
And it was before he reformed Steely Dan.
Right.
So we were just doing R&B tunes, and it was Dr. John and all these fantastic musicians, and he sang one song, and it's Drowning in the Sea of Love, and it kind of sounded like this. I've been down one time. I've been down 2 times. Drowning in the sea of love. That's my Donald Fagen interview. I mean an impression.
That was good.
Oh my God! To get a chance to work with him, another pinch me.
Absolutely right. What a band. Okay. Favorite live album?
Waiting for Columbus, Little Feat.
Oh, good answer.
Yeah.
It's funny you say that. I recently had some guys in here that play in a Little Feat tribute band.
Great.
And that was like, I don't know if it's a New York thing or what, but New York is, I don't know if you're aware, but New York is like the mecca for tribute bands. They're everywhere.
Yeah.
But Little Feat, at least for me, I never would have thought would be a big tribute band thing, but these guys are playing everywhere. They're killing it. And then to hear you say that, it's like, I guess these guys are just bigger than I realize, I guess. But
I ended up sitting in with Little Feat probably 6 times, and their newest guitar player singer, Scott Sherrard, is a badass MF. He was playing with Greg Allman for years.
Oh wow!
The band hasn't sounded this good since Lowell George. Of course, they had some great singers. All of them were really great. But Scott is the man. And I just saw that they're doing their last tour, supposedly. I hope it's not true.
Yeah, sure. Wow.
The world needs Little Feat,
Yeah. I hear you. All right. Last question, and then then we'll tell the story. Favorite supergroup? I mean, Crosby, Stills and Nash pretty much coined that phrase, but there's a lot of great ones. So do you have a favorite supergroup?
Wow. That's tough. I normally, it's like when anyone asks me favorite, it's like, sorry, dude, I don't do favorites. Because it's apples and oranges,
Right.
So it's kind of not fair. You're kind of upsetting me right now.
I'm good at that.
I'll just kind of take a stab, but it's so tough, man. Favorite supergroup.
It is a tough question.
Oh yeah,
it is.
Put it this way: I love so many different styles of music,
as we all do. Absolutely.
Yeah. So I, to end the misery of trying to come up with the right answer.
There is no right or wrong here.
There's no right or wrong.
Whatever.
No. Oh God. I'm tempted to just go somewhere. All right. For me, the band.
Oh wow!
Ooh, but you would consider that a supergroup?
To me, it's a supergroup because
I kind of agree.
There's nothing like that was ever that good, but also that honest and that unpolished, but brilliant. you know, I mean, you could go Miles Davis and the various things that he's done. I mean, you could go Grateful Dead, you know, because of what they've done.
All right, but let me ask you this then, because with Crosby, Stills and Nash, like I said, they kind of coined that phrase, supergroup.
Right.
But maybe I know I'm an idiot, but maybe I'm a bigger idiot than I thought. I thought they coined that phrase, supergroup, because they were already, those are three guys who were already famous. So you're taking three all-stars and put them together. So that's why I'm
a super group.
Right. So that's why I'm questioning the band. I love the band. They were a super group, but it wasn't like a bunch of famous guys coming together.
They came together.
Well, how many super
like
groups
a traveling
are there?
Wilburys.
Well, right, the Traveling Wilburys, Blind Faith.
Yeah,
Blind Faith, that was another one on the tip of my tongue. You know, of if it's got to be all famous people, you know. So, but there's not that many super groups in the fact that everyone is a very well-known person, right? I mean, I can't think of very many.
I mean, there's some one-offs, like Dave Grohl made an album with John Paul Jones and then the guy from Queens of the Stone Age. Them Crooked Vultures, they were called. They made one album. Joe Bonamassa and what's his name? Glenn. He's a bass player, singer.
Sure. And again, a supergroup to me is really famous people.
Yeah.
And also, you got to remember, I'm going to be 70 next year. You know what I mean? So my scope of supergroups would probably be, you know, people who are, you know, the people that I listened to versus not to say that Joe Bonamassa is a badass MF.
Right.
And I'm trying to not swear on your radio show.
You're allowed, so it doesn't matter.
And he is very sweet to me, which I really appreciate it. And I have tremendous respect for his abilities.
Sure.
There's people that move me. And then there's people I so appreciate their technique and their abilities, you know. So a lot of people who play a lot of notes, as Ray Charles said to me once, I learned one thing from a man who's dead now, Basie, Count Basie. He never played a lot of notes, but every goddamn one of them he did play meant something. And I found out, man, that's the key. It's not how many notes you play, it's what you got in each note.
That's awesome.
And I said, you're teaching that to me. And he goes, oh, yeah. So and that's what I learned to do. I could make Ray Charles scream with the simplest, well-placed note.
Right.
And so that is the stuff that moves me.
Yeah, absolutely.
Not rapid fire. This is how fast I can play. Not to say that
that cool.
isn't impressive, you know, and beautiful. Right. Anyway, all right. So Blind Faith.
Okay.
Blind Faith.
There you go.
Well, and we can also say Our House. You know, you and Steve Postel and all those great players. Kip Lennon singing. Yeah. Absolutely.
Indeed.
Well, that's very sweet. You know.
So
we're super egotistical.
it's a super show, I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
This is my sheet with my whole list of questions for you today. I barely got into half of this. This was a huge thrill. This was a lot of fun.
He has to come back.
Well, we'll do it again.
Yeah,
we definitely would.
Yeah.
And we're definitely going to take you up on coming to see one of the shows.
Yeah, absolutely.
And with that, you have a great
now,
story.
Our silly story from our childhood.
Yeah.
Well, it wasn't really childhood.
Well, we were much younger, but we were in our 20s, so 26 years old.
Oh, okay. So was that long ago?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
That's childhood.
Like you said, the first show him and I went to for CSN, we were 16 or 17. But anyway,
Wow.
So they're playing at the Jones Beach one night.
Right.
Yep.
I have a broken leg from a little mishap on my Harley. So I got a cast on from the knee down.
Oh boy!
And we go to the show. It ain't stopping us, right? So Tony knew that they were staying at the Garden City Hotel. Afterwards, I'm like, he's like, should we go meet him? I said, yeah, let's go meet him. I said, but he's driving. I got the broken leg. So we get to the hotel. No tour buses had pulled in yet. So we're waiting. All of a sudden, so we see a couple of buses come in.
Just as we're parking.
And we get out. I'm like, come on, we gotta go. The Garden City Hotel, if you've never been there, the front has a hill of grass going towards the front of the hotel. Now I got my cast on my leg. I'm like, come on, Tony. He's behind me.
Yeah, you were running
I'm
faster than me with a cast.
with the
Right.
cast on, faster than him
To go meet them, yeah.
To go meet, and we get to the front door, and they came off the bus. Graham was first.
Yeah.
And hey, you guys doing what you saw the show, whatever. And Tony goes, hey, can you sign my buddy's cast? And he goes, sure. We happen to have a marker. And then Steven came off, and they're both standing there. Now we're both like in awe. We're like these guys, legends,
Right.
you know.
Right,
And
right.
Graham Nash signs my cast. Steven Stills literally gets down on his knee on the cement, gets down.
Wow.
I have my leg up in the air like
Wow.
this, and he's signing it, and I'm leaning on him like this. I'm like, oh, thank you, man. I still have that cast, by the way.
Oh, that's great.
As you should.
But I mean, it was funny, and it was just a moment, one of our pinch me moments we'll never forget. But we're like,
beautiful.
hey, where's Dave? And I think I don't know if Steven said it or Graham goes, hey, he's probably doing laundry in his bus somewhere.
Which, yeah, we were like, what kind of answer was that? That was the
Yeah.
weirdest thing.
Yeah,
I
but,
did get to meet David once. That was the second time I met Graham. I met
never
Steve,
met Dave.
David
never
once.
met Dave.
Uh,
Did you ever
but
see
yeah,
him on Roseanne?
Yeah,
Roseanne
of
episode?
course.
I
Yeah,
love that
yeah,
episode.
absolutely. Him and Bonnie
yeah.
Bramlett. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
All right. So, Jeff, before we go,
Yes.
real quick, anything else you want to promote? The album's website where they can get some of this stuff?
Sure.
Anything?
Sure. Well, Pevar.com, Pevar.com is my website where I have all kinds of, photos and information of my touring and blah, blah, blah. But my music is there. Our music is there. My wife and I, have 2 records, very proud of From the Core record, some other things I'm sure, and as well as touring info. And there's a place where you could actually leave a message or whatever if you have anything you'd like to ask or inquire or complain about me, or tell me that I don't look like Jeffrey Epstein. That I would appreciate more than anything. Yeah,
I will say you don't look like you're going to turn 70 next year.
Yeah,
I
right.
find that
Thank
hard
you.
to believe, and no doubt.
Thank you.
No
Thank you.
doubt.
Well, it's
Music
when
keeps you young.
live. Yeah, that's right. When you lead a life of something that you love, music keeps you young. I have a beautiful woman in my life, my wife, Inger Nova Jorgensen. And that's another thing that people should check out. Inger Nova Jorgensen, JORGENSEN.com. She is a master sculptor, painter. She does commissions. So if anybody wants to have a bronze of their beloved or their dog or whatever.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Very cool,
She's
yeah.
just finishing 2 commissions right now.
Nice.
And we will be touring with Bruce Coburn this fall, starting the middle of October into the first week of November. Of course, our house has dates this summer, and we do house concerts out of our house. For those of you who are living out here on the West Coast, we live in Ashland, Oregon, right over the border of California.
Oh, okay.
So we, you can find out more just by messaging me either Facebook or my website. And thank you for having me,
Awesome.
gentlemen, and thank you for doing what you do.
Yeah.
It was nice to just channel some stuff and get my mind off certain things that are going on.
Absolutely.
But
Yeah, no doubt.
life moves forward, man. Life moves forward,
does.
and there is something to be said about the baton is being passed. That it was passed from my parents and my all the people behind them who made it possible for them to be there, and I'm still passing the baton for my brother Peter, who just passed
Very nice.
a few days ago.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, absolutely.
Again,
Yeah, all the
deepest
best.
sympathies,
Yeah,
brother,
all you and your
and,
family.
thank you,
yes.
man.
We do.
Thank you so much.
I know I say for all of us here, we enjoy the stories immensely.
Yes, this,
that you
this
share
was
with us.
this was a big thrill. Thank you very much.
This was
Thank
dynamite.
you.
Yep.
Thank
This
you,
was
guys.
dynamite.
Yeah, we'll
Pleasure.
if you're up for it, we'll definitely do it again.
Yeah.
Sounds great. Thank you,
Great.
Tony. Thank you,
And
Okay.
I think we'll see you over the summer, brother.
Yeah, absolutely.
Great. I'll look forward to it.
You got
Sounds
All right.
good. Thank you, Jeff
it. Take
Pevar.
care, Jeff.
Take care, you guys.
All right.
Keep up the good work, man.
Thank you, man. You
Thank
too.
you.
All right. See you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right. Frank, I'm going to cut off the Zoom.
Okay.
All right. We'll see you later.
That was good. That was great. That was beyond great.
That was
beyond
that was a
great.
big one for
What
me.
a guy.
Yeah.
What a guy.
Great stories, man.
Great stories. Yeah.
Yeah, that was a good one.
This was a hell of a day for me to come back to the show. I mean, this was unbelievable.
Well, that's why I reached out
Yeah.
to see if you were around
Unbelievable.
because I knew he was coming on, and
Yeah.
and again the whole mutual Crosby, Stills and
Yeah.
Nash love that we share. So I knew you'd get a
I
kick out
thought
of
the
this.
same thing you did. I thought when he said Beacon, I was like, oh, piece of cake. We'll go to that. Yeah.
I've been saying that for a few months now.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to go see this guy at the Beacon.
But I mean, if he's gonna be right over New London, we could do that. We could take the ferry over for that.
Right. That's exactly what I was thinking.
know?
Yeah. I got to look at the dates again. I hope.
Yeah.
It was mid-August or something.
I
gotta check
think
that.
so. Yeah, the date thing is gonna be.
I think I'm around for that. I think we're doing a vacation thing around that time. But okay.
That'd be cool.
but that was really cool.
That was
fun.
dynamite interview.
Hope you guys enjoyed it. I saw a lot of the comments were not coming in, but that's all right. All right. So before we go, oh wow, it's almost 1:00. Holy crap!
Yeah.
We've been going late almost every day since I've been back. All right. I was going to say I'll play a clip, but I think we're just going to go. All right. So we're out of here. What's today? Thursday. I believe, Nick Graystone's on tonight. His guest is Long Island radio legend Rob Rush. I know Rob. He's a good guy, and he's a great DJ. So that's tonight here on Gov's Comedy Club Podcast. Tonight, and then tomorrow at 11, I'm back with Rosie and Peter and Grace, and birthday boy Fremder will be here. So that'll be fun. That's what's happening here at Gov's Comedy Club Podcast. Don't forget, here at the clubs, tonight's the big night, percussion and punchlines. Mike Keegan, Mark Hirschman, Rosie Fiumara doing their comedy. Richie Byrne and Eric Haft doing their comedy, but also doing their music. So that's going to be a lot of fun. Also performing some music, Michael Paris from the band OAR. So that's going to be a fun night. So come on down to the brokerage for that one. Also going on at the clubs this weekend, Governors here in Levittown, Kevin Downey Jr., Sarper Guven this weekend, John Patera and friends are in the Giggle Room, Rob White, Mike Delaquilla and friends there at McGuire's. Go to govs.com, govs.com to make your reservations, see some great comedy shows, and see the full schedule. KnockEmDeadComedy.com. We're coming to Governors. The brokerage, actually, we're going to the brokerage and McGuire's this fall, and we have some other dates as well. Go to KnockEmDeadComedy.com. All right, thanks for hanging out with us today, and again, thanks for sticking around as we went kind of late. And thank you, pal. When do we see you again?
What am I off now? I'm gonna be next week. I'll be off Tuesday, Wednesday.
Oh, okay.
I will be off. So whichever one you tell me.
You're either one. You want to?
I'll make sure I have no doctor's appointments, and I'll get back to you.
Yes. Okay. Yeah, because we got, you want to see.
Lately.
Yeah. Oh, okay. We can see beautiful Diane on Tuesday or not so beautiful Mike on Wednesday. So. Big, tough choice.
Let's think about that one.
All right, we're out of here. See you.